Hi everyone, welcome back to Brain Dump. I'm Kai. So, before I start, per usual, just want to preface that I'm not a mental health professional. Also, the title of this episode is a quote from Mary Pfeiffer, who's the author of one of my books of the week. So I'm not taking credit for that quote, but I really wanted to talk about it today. We're all going to feel what we feel. And sometimes what we feel doesn't exactly align with what we think, and I think that can be extremely confusing, but you still have to respect your feelings and don't invalidate your emotions simply because you don't like them. Some people use their feelings as an excuse for acting out. I used to do that a lot. The difference between feelings and behavior is that we can choose what we do, and we can't just choose how we feel. Sometimes when we're feeling very strongly about something, we use that to justify our actions, and in the moment you see nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm doing this because I have to. I used to think that way when I would think about no one else but myself. When I was 18, 19, I thought I could do no wrong, and I justified my shitty behavior because I'm depressed. No, making these decisions hurt people, and I have to accept that. I feel like we all have our own personal responsibility for our actions and behavior, and the only way to open your eyes is to take accountability and accept that your actions can have an impact on other people's lives. I've hurt people. I have, and I'm not proud of that at all. Not physically. I have never and will never lay a hand on someone like that, just no, but I know that I've hurt people before. I've hurt people's feelings, 100%. And for a while, knowing that made me change my behavior to constantly thinking about the past, all the ways that I could make things different. So my behavior after feeling those emotions was to wallow. And I thought, well, this is how I have to live now. I did a shitty thing now, so I'm a shitty person. But here's the thing, you don't have to be a shitty person just because you did a shitty thing. Even the best people on earth have fucked up a time or two. We are just human. We're just people. And people fuck up. But it's all about what action you take and how you behave. Because I'll say it again, your feelings do not justify your behavior. I want to be a good person. I really do, and I'm trying. But we're all going to have setbacks. You're allowed to have whatever emotions you want. No one can control your emotions because emotions are healthy responses to things. But you're not allowed to have behaviors that are harmful just because you have certain emotions. Your emotions are valid, but your behaviors are not always justified because of your emotions. There's something called the emotion versus reason idea that's essentially the idea that we can control our emotions using reason, and that our brains have a reasonable side and an emotional side. And I'm all about people having their own beliefs and ideas. I think that's great, but that's just simply inaccurate. In the cerebral cortex of our brains, reason is integrated with emotion. That's just the straight up science. So don't think you're crazy just because you can't set aside your emotions with reason. It's literally not possible. And if you think it is possible, you're probably just repressing your emotions. And again, I'm not a mental health professional. Sometimes I think of this podcast as letters to my younger self, listen up, bitch. I've been so stupid, and I feel like this podcast would be a perfect guide for me when I was younger to not do these stupid things. I wouldn't change it for the world, obviously, because I wouldn't be as emotionally intelligent as I am as a 20-year-old if I hadn't gone through certain things and made certain choices. So all that to say is basically, whatever I'm saying on this podcast is what I wish I knew when I was younger. Maybe one day my kids will listen to this, which is kind of cuckoo bunks crazy. Oh my god, also, I got my therapist saying cuckoo bunks crazy. I said something at last week's session. She said, Kai, that is cuckoo bunks crazy. Oh, I love it. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I'm trying to work on cussing less, because holy shit. I mean, holy fuck. What the fuck? I curse like a sailor, and I'm aware of that. I get it from my mom, and we're from New York. It's just how we roll. I didn't even live in New York for that long, but it's how we roll. We throw around the word fuck probably every other sentence, but I want to stop cussing as much, so my kids can listen to this. It took me a long time to learn how to genuinely feel my feelings without hurting other people, and I feel like I did that for a long time, because people say your feelings are valid. So when I was younger, I feel like my brain translated that to what you do with your feelings are also valid, which is not the case. Just because you're feeling a certain way doesn't mean you get to treat other people like shit. Like crap. And I used to lash out on other people just because I was having a bad day, which is not something I want to do to the people around me. Something that helped me move past that hurtful and immature behavior is, in a way, dissecting the real motivation behind my actions to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think I talked about this a little before I deleted all my social media apps. I had to figure out why the hell I had all these toxic habits associated with these apps, and that made it so clear that social media wasn't doing me any favors at that time in my life. I think it was like May 17th or something last year, I said, you know what, fuck it. I deleted every single social media app. I went 6 months without any of it. None of the apps. And then I slowly started integrating certain apps back in. I tried Snapchat again. I didn't like it. I tried Facebook again, didn't like it. I haven't tried TikTok at all because I used to see terrible shit on that app and it would just constantly bring me down. I have absolutely no urge to re-download it. And then on my 20th birthday, okay, the original reason that I re-downloaded Instagram was because on the cruise that I was on, I didn't realize that every single text that I sent and received was like $3. Just because we were out of the States, and I felt so bad because, it's my birthday, I've been getting texts and responding, and then at like 6:30 at night, my mom's like, what the hell is this bill that I just got from AT&T? I felt so bad, but for the remainder of my birthday texts, I just responded to them over Instagram DM because I didn't want to cost my mom more money. I know I've said this since I re-downloaded it, but I have such a different relationship to Instagram than I once did. Like, my brain just simply isn't wired that way anymore to constantly be on the app and constantly scrolling and stalking. Like, that's not something I choose to occupy my time with anymore. I don't know why I even got into a rant about social media. Where even was I? Oh yeah, dissecting the motivation behind your actions. There's always an underlying reason for everything that you do. In dissecting my actions and what I was doing when I realized that I'm a human being that's capable of making mistakes, that also made me realize that some of my mistakes have really had an impact on other people, and not all of my behavior is acceptable. We cannot control our life circumstances, but we can control how we react, and that makes all the difference. Quote-unquote, your feelings are valid does not necessarily mean your reaction is an appropriate response to what just happened. Something that I say a lot that plays into this is that feelings are not facts. And that's something that I still have to remind myself of from time to time, so I don't take action as if they are facts. Our feelings are valid because we feel them, but that doesn't always mean that my feelings towards this situation are true. A part of accepting that my feelings aren't facts was just finally being honest with myself. For a long time, I feel like I painted myself in my head as this super good person who couldn't hurt other people. And I didn't think I was lying to myself. I thought that I was good, and I thought that I would never hurt other people. But guess what? When we're young, we don't have enough life experience to know if we're hurting someone or not. We're stupid and young, and I feel like that's just something we get better with over time. Because I don't want to be that person that hurts people anymore. That's not who I want to be. At the end of the day, we're all people, and we all have varying limitations, and we're just trying our best. That's what we're all doing. Oh my gosh, guess what? Tomorrow morning, I have a job interview to be a behavioral technician. It has this on-the-job training to become an RBT, which is a registered behavioral technician, which is so cool because usually you have to go through like a certificate program and, pay for school to become a registered behavioral technician. But this job has on-site training, and after a certain amount of time, you get your certificate, and you become a registered behavioral technician. And that's so cool, right? It's working with young kids with autism, which is something I really want to do, and something I want to learn about and learn more about young people and their brains, and I just want to help, And I think that would be a very fulfilling job, and something that I would enjoy a lot. Okay, books of the week. I have been on a reading grind lately, like seriously reading at all hours of the day. So, number 1, Letters to a Young Therapist by Mary Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer? Couldn't tell you. This was a good book. This was very insightful. It's basically this older woman who's writing essentially to her mentee about her experience as a therapist and things she wished she knew at the beginning of her career. And it's just very informative about that line of work. Then The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I finally gave in to the fucking housemaid hype. Holy shit! I read it in less than 24 hours. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. Like, I've never read a book with so many fucking twists and... I've never read a book with so many twists and turns it felt like every other chapter I was like, I don't even know who the good guy's supposed to be anymore. It was good. I would 100% recommend that. Then I read 0 Days by Ruth Ware. This is just a book that I saw at the library, but I did some research on the author, and she's kind of known as the Agatha Christie of our generation. I feel like a lot of authors that write those kind of books, though, are all compared to Agatha Christie, so that doesn't take away from how good this book was. 0 Days by Ruth Ware was very good. It's very action-packed, murder mystery, my type of shit. That one I couldn't put down either. I just love thrillers that keep me on the edge of my seat. And then right now I'm reading The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden, which is the second book. Oh my god. I started reading it yesterday afternoon, and I'm about halfway through. I'm definitely going to finish it tonight, because after I finish uploading this podcast, that's what I'm planning on doing. Overall, the books this week have been top tier. I've had a great reading week. Alright, here... Oh my gosh, you guys are not going to believe it. I went to the Shaky Knees Festival. That's been one of my little goals for a while, just going to the Shaky Knees Festival by myself, and I had a really good time. I only went on Friday because, there were other artists throughout the weekend that I wanted to see, but the only reason that I would buy a ticket for Saturday is to see Girl in Red, and there was no other artist that I was dying to see for the other days, so I saw Odie Lee, which I'd never heard of her music before, but she was just on the main stage when I got there, and I just walked up to the barricade, so I was really close, and her music was really good. Then I saw Delwater Gap. They're one of my favorite bands, and oh my god, he was really good live. He had so much energy. And then I saw Pond, which is an Australian band, I think, question mark? I knew a few of their songs before I went into it. I saw Young the Giant. They were really good too. And then, who's the person that went on? Interpol? Interpol? I couldn't tell you who went on before Noah Khan, but there was a good 3-hour period before Noah Khan went out that I was just sitting on the ground holding my spot. I don't know if you guys saw Noah Khan's Instagram story, but holy shit, did you see the video of all the people that were there? I didn't know that there were that many people. Like, there was like a drone video that showed all the people at the Peachtree stage at that time. Holy shit, there were so many fucking people there, and I was so close I didn't even see. Noah Khan was incredible. I would see him again and again and again in concert. He seems like just such a nice person, and you could tell he was so grateful to be there. All of his songs are great, but he played the best of his songs, and I'm very happy with the songs that he chose. But yeah, it was a really good experience, and I'm really glad that I went by myself. Obviously it would have been nice to have someone to go with, but there was surprisingly a lot of other people that went by themselves, and I made a few friends along the way, and I'm proud of myself for, putting myself out there, and obviously I didn't make any, besties, but I made friends throughout the day, and that's not something that I do very easily. It's so weird because I tell my therapist this, I suck at making friends, I'm so awkward, and she's like, I have such a hard time believing that. And it's like, do I have an easy time making friends? And I'm just, putting that idea in my mind that I'm so awkward and I don't know how. And everyone was just very nice. It was an overall good first music festival experience. And this summer I want to go to Bonnaroo, but holy shit, the tickets for Bonnaroo are so expensive. But we'll see. It's oh my god, I was about to say it's a few months away, but it's May. It is May 5th. 1 year ago today, I saw Lizzie McAlpine in concert. She was good. She was really good. That was a great concert. She's on tour again, but she's not coming to Atlanta, and I've been looking at the ticket prices for her shows, and they're so dirt cheap. Yesterday, I was looking at TickPick, which is a fee-free ticket app, and there was literally a ticket to see Lizzie McAlpine for $2. It's like, damn, if only I lived in Portland, Oregon. But yeah, no, she's not coming anywhere near Atlanta. So, anywhere I was trying to look, I was like, maybe I can just make a little road trip out of it, but there's no way that I'm, all the places that she's going, I would have to fly into. And me only being 20, I can't rent a car. Going somewhere like that on my own would be such a hassle, and I would have to Uber everywhere, and I'd rather not. So as much as I want to see Lizzie McAlpine again, I probably won't be. At least this tour. That was a good concert. I went with someone that I've since parted ways from, but that's like probably the last good memory I had with that person. Yeah. Now that I'm really thinking about it, yeah. I look back on that night and I know I had a really good time, and that's that. And I hope that person is able to look back on it and remember how fun it was, and not how... I'm not trying to expose my life, but the end of that night was not my favorite. Lizzie McAlpine is great, but getting the door slammed in your face when you tell someone that you love them is not the best feeling in the world, and that's how that night ended. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna cut that out. Literally, what the fuck ever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't know why I even... Oh yeah, I started ranting about Shaky Knees. So, songs of the week. Everything I Know About Love by Leve, While You Were Sleeping by Leve, Fresh Out the Slammer by Taylor Swift, Sexy Villain by Remy Wolf, You're Gonna Go Far by Noah Kahan, and Homesick by Noah Kahan. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. Remember that you're loved, you're valued, you're appreciated, and remember to think before you act. Try to be kind, if you can. It's not that hard. I love you. I'll talk to you next week.